prior to 1948, did the U.S. have enemies in the Middle East? Did we have beef with people here?
No, actually, our relations were very good. With certainly with Saudi Arabia, yeah, in general, I think with the Arabs, our relations were very good. And so there was quite a bit of resistance, there was resistance within the U.S. government, within the State Department, strong resistance to the creation of the State of Israel. But it went forward, and I think a lot of it is sympathy, following the persecution of the Jews during World War II. And so it was a sympathy that, I think clouded our better judgment. And then, of course, well, yeah, we don't have to go into all the details of how Palestine was split, but that's how it happened. The original UN resolution.
There's some truth to that saying that hurt people. Because you have the Holocaust, this horrific genocide that was carried out in Europe under the Nazis. And then, the descendants of the Holocaust, or people that survived the Holocaust, a lot of Jews started coming into Palestine. And, you see those pictures of boats as, Europe rejected us, please take us in. And it seemed like in the beginning, things were okay. People, the Arabs of the land, there were Christians, Muslims, Jews, all there. And it seemed like at first it was like, okay, yeah, we can help harbor and take care of these people. But now you look at what's happened now, and people describe Gaza. I mean, you look at Gaza. What is it? What is that? If it's not an open air prison, or even you could saying a concentration camp, I don't think is too much hyperbole. They're just exterminating them in this open air prison. So it just the irony of it. Do you think there's something to that idea that hurt people end up hurting people? Like, well, how? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, certainly. I mean, there's. I think, well, part of it's understanding, let's say concentration camp survivors live in fear, and I think actually suffer from a justifiable amount of paranoia. So yeah, that explains part of it. I think there's no question about it. Now, of course, we're quite a distance from that. There are very few survivors who are still here. Israel has been a regional superpower for quite a while, and has been oppressing, the Palestinians on its land. It's really been running an apartheid state for many decades now. So we're getting farther and farther away from that. And so that position becomes, let's say less and less understandable, or has less and less justification. I never had justification, but at least you could understand it, on an emotional level. I think since then it's undergone this paranoia, this fear, this sense of being a victim, has undergone a transformation and has created this monster that we see now. It didn't have to develop in that direction. It could have developed in a different direction, say, okay, it's because, we suffered this, we're going to dedicate this country to preventing anything like that from ever occurring again. They say that, but it just becomes about the Jews. That's what There are some Jews, like, again, Max Blumenthal is probably, a prime example, who has took things in a very, very different direction. Yeah, no, he's going to be opposed to genocide no matter what. And so he is one of the most zealous opponents of this genocide. And that's true of other Jews now. But the majority, certainly the vast majority within Israel, have chosen, okay, not to oppose genocide in general, but simply to circle the wagons around the Jews. So that's the lesson that they learned, and to actually yeah. So for them, they see no contradiction. It was always just about them and their minds. It was we were persecuted, and now we're never going to be persecuted again. And if we've got to completely eradicate another people, we'll do it because that's our so-called never again. The Jews are not going to be persecuted. And to prevent that, to make absolutely sure, we'll simply, if we have to kill them all, we'll kill them all.
Do they have that idea? Because I mean, if you express it like that, then you can't say anything other than that. That's genocidal intent, right?
Yeah,
I mean, and so they have to.
It's been rather open, hasn't it? I mean, we've again, even the ICJ they didn't have any problem finding open public statements of genocidal intent from Netanyahu on down.
Yeah, it's amazing. You think of a country with so many lawyers that they would be like, hey, let's keep quiet.
Yeah, that's the difference. I mean, it's just the old Israel. Again, it was it was run by, we'll say, Jewish supremacists, which is say, Zionists, but they were clever. They behaved. They acted incrementally. They were careful, in the language that used. They knew how to talk to people in the West, and especially, they knew what kind of face to present to the U.S. And yeah, those people aren't running the show anymore. It's these crazies, which are, again, I'd say they're equally Zionists, but they have no sense of restraint, and they don't really give a damn what people, Jewish liberals or, liberals in general in the U.S. think of them. They're just gonna say what they think. They say it out loud now, and so far they haven't borne any consequences, not directly. It certainly has deeply damaged their reputation in the long run. I think it's going to hurt them grievously. But in the short run, it's just, the arms continue to flow to Israel.
Right. It's just fascinating how Israel could have gotten to the state it is now, where they can't openly talk about genocide, essentially, and it's not condemned. It's something that people just sort of agree that we got to eradicate these people. And yeah, I guess having this ethno-supremacist state was coupled with the tragedy of the Holocaust actually allowed them to kind of fan that victim mentality again to create what we have now. It's like when you have that some horrific event like the Holocaust, it seems like there's two paths you can go. You can, like you said, the Max Blumenthal, no genocide ever again, or you just really embrace that permanent victim mentality, and that with the ethno state creates what we have. Ethno-supremacist state of Israel creates this monstrosity that is okay with doing what it's doing now.
Right. Well, I mean, yeah. One thing is if you're the victim, and then that's what I think clearly Israeli Jews believe. It's part of the, something that they tell themselves constantly. As I understand, it's just part of the, it's what they're taught in schools and so on. So they grow up thinking we're the victim. So if you're the victim, then, you don't actually need to reflect so much on what you're doing because you're the victim in any case. Maybe you're gunning down innocent women and children somewhere, but you're the victim.